Regidrago hasn't been, like, the biggest thing there. There have been, like, a couple of different concepts and a lot of different ways to build it. However, it's not as prevalent as something like Lugia. Lugia's been dominating in Japan, though. However, Regidrago does seem like a lot of fun, and they tend to use, like, 3 specific attackers in every build, but also have, like, a few other attackers in certain builds. In this one here, this one's a Lost Zone engine of the deck, where it's playing a 3-3 Regidrago line with a Giratina, a Goodra, and a Duraludon. Duraludon to hit through effects of attacks, Goodra for a little more tankiness while also being able to swing for a good margin of damage, the Giratina to be able to swing for a good 280, I think is very good. Then we have the Cramorant, which is just a basic one-pricer attacker that can swing for free for 110, which is nice, especially in this deck. It's good for softening up knockouts, especially when paired with some of these other attackers as well. Hey, Sonny, how it be? We're going over some Japanese results and sort of visiting some of the decks that'll probably be going into this upcoming format kind of thing. But the Lost Zone engine seems interesting. I'm not 100% sure on the counts. Like, I do like the Gardevoir, because I don't necessarily see getting rid of energy using Greninja in this build being, like, the best way to build it. I think more aggressively trying to draw with Comfey is good. However, I could see this being replaced with a Greninja as well. But I'm not going to question their choice on Gardevoir too much here. Seems like Japanese players really like playing Gardevoir in their lists, especially when there's, like, an early game, like, aggressive build that can knock out your stuff pretty easily. And that 20 damage reduction can be very good. So my personal changes to this list would be, I would change the Quick Ball and Evolution count. I'd lower this by 1 each. Up the Ordinary Rod count to 2. And up the Training Court count to 2. I might even replace the boss with 2 Serena, but I'm not 100% sure of the practicality of that in this particular deck. I do like this a lot, though. I would probably swap the counts of Switch and Escape Rope, because I think triple Escape Rope is really good. The 1 Air Balloon is good, and I might swap the Big Charm for a Choice Belt. I think the counts of this generally are good. This is probably going to be one of the easier ways to build Regidrago, so I feel like this is the easiest thing to pick up and just, like, try Regidrago with. Oh, somehow won your match after losing a turn to internet crashing. Literally, that's happened to me before. But nice job! Hell yeah. Alright. Then there's this one. I think the Arc Regi build has a lot of potential. Like, I like the concept behind an Arceus deck that plays Regidrago, because it's basically like combining Arc Goodra and Arc Tina together, but also having a Shred attack, which is insane. Like, all you need are these 3 attackers in this deck. The Gardevoir is good, the Pumpkaboo to Bump Path is really good. Like, I think this might be, like, one of the go-to ways to build this deck. The Drapion's also kind of necessary. Like, this, I think, is a very good deck. I just don't quite agree on, like, the counts down here. Like, honestly, you might want to play, like, Path, or maybe just go more aggressive with the Training Court, and then maybe add in, like, a Gardenia and a Luminion. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do like the way that this deck is built at present. Then we go down to this build, which is the most crack energy build I have ever seen for Regidrago. That being said, there has not been, like, a lot of Regidrago cards out at the moment, so I don't know, who knows, this could be optimal, but this is very, very... I don't know how to explain it. It's strange. It's a strange build. Again, I think I would cut the boss for Serena in this build, considering you already have Garchomp to snipe those, like, 2-prize Pokemon. You don't necessarily need to pull them up, but I guess having at least 1 boss, or even 2 boss, to be able to go pull up, like, a VMAX and hit with Flygon, or pull up something else, hit with the Giratina, could be good. But this is wild. This list is crazy. It's a 2-2 Regidrago, a 2-2 Arceus, and then a 2-1 Rillaboom line to be able to search your deck for 2 grass energies and attach them to your Pokemon, which I guess is a more consistent way to get your Regidragos set up, but it seems hard to set up. Especially with only a 2-1 line of Rillaboom, you might even prize this Rillaboom. I would definitely, in a build like this, maybe cut the Howlucha, because you already have things swinging for 320 and for 280. So I think I would cut the Howlucha and something else for a third Grookey and a second Rillaboom. But I think other than that, I like this build a lot. It's very cool. Like, it's definitely an insane deck. Like, it's crazy that they built this way, but I see the potential, and I like it. Then there was this one. I don't quite like this build. This is the build out of Regidrago that I dislike the most from them. I understand the mentality behind it because they've got the Oranguru and the trekking shoes to be able to discard very easily. I like the Appleton tech because it helps with just out-pressuring Lugia, because this does 70 damage for each special energy your opponent has in play, and they just ramp special energy onto the field. So the Appleton, I think, is a very good tech for the Lugia matchup, but I'm not sure if I agree with the way this deck is built, especially this card. Like, they don't have Evo Incense, they don't have Quick Ball. The main way that they're getting things into discard or out onto the field at all is the Pokestop. And I don't quite agree with that. I like the ability to be able to, like, energy retrieval back things and then Gardenia into things. But I don't like their... Like, I like their concept, I don't like their ball search count. I don't like their Pokemon search count. Like, this is very, like, heads or tails on whether or not you get a basic or an evolution. And I don't like that. I'd rather just play Evolution Incense than this. And I don't see why they're not playing Quick Balls at all. Like, I would try to revamp this a little at least. I don't even think they need 10 Grass, considering they have 3 Energy Retrieval. So I would probably cut the... Dialga, cut 2 Grass, add in 3 Quick Ball. Change this to Evo Incense. And I think that is what I would change about this list. I'm glad Flavio is 4-0. He bodied me in round 1, so I'm glad that he's succeeding off me dying. Alright, then we have... I don't think there's another one of this list written anywhere, so this is gonna open on Twitter. But this list is cool. I like this list a lot. This is a very streamlined Regidrago list. It's playing one of the Evolving Skies Regidrago that swings for 240 if it doesn't have damage counters on it, but reduces for each damage counter on it. So I think this is a really good one-prizer tech in this deck that does a lot of damage. On top of that, you have the Dragonite that acts as a Trinity Nova. It searches out up to 3 of any color energy and attaches them to your Pokemon and play however you want. Hey! Da 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 ba da 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 da. Hey, Tails, how it be? Welcome on in. We're going over some Japanese Pokemon deck lists at the moment. Let me give you a shout out real fast. Shout out, Lucky Tails. How was Splatoon? I hope you had a very good stream for sure. We're talking on some Japanese Pokemon lists right now. This one is a streamlined Regidrago build that has a 3-3 Regidrago, 1 baby Regidrago that swings for 220 if there's no damage counters on it. Or, sorry, not 220, 240 if there's no damage counters on it. Then there's the Dragonite that does 180, searches for 3 basic energy and attaches them to your Pokemon in play. Then we have Giratina, which swings for 280 and Lost Zones 2 energy. Goodra, which swings for 200 but reduces damage done to the Pokemon that use this attack by 80. Duraludon, which swings for 220 but goes through effective attacks, so it can hit like Miltank or go through damage reduction. And then I really like the double Celebrations Mew to be able to grab Quick Balls, Ultra Balls, switching effects, Air Balloon, Trekking Shoes. Like, all of this is really good. I think this list might be one of the better lists. The one thing that I would change about it is I would add a Leafeon V in order to turn 1 accelerate an energy and not need to use Gardenia. That is the main thing that I would change about this build. But I do like the 4 Gardenia, 2 Serena, and 1 Marnie. I might also add a Palpad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 grass here. I might cut one of these for a Palpad. Or even maybe just cut the Ordinary Rod. I don't know. I do like the deck, though. The deck is very good. I might even add, like, a Garchomp, because Garchomp is really good for Snipe. Alright. Now back to these. Which one was this one? I don't know if I've seen this one. What was this list? It's a 4/4 Regidrago with Oranguru, Mew... Oh, I like this build a lot. I have not seen this one. So it's a 4/4 Regidrago. This one's the... Okay, this one's the other Regidrago that draws until you have 4 in hand. And does 160. I can see that working, but I think I like the 240 one better as like a one prizer that you can put down and swing for a massive amount of damage. But I can see this one working too. The Goodra, the Giratina, and the Dragonite make sense. I do think a Duraludon should be in here because those are like the 3 main attackers that I would put in here. Oh, I've already dropped. I'm chilling. I just kind of want to go over Japanese deck lists right now. I like this build, though. Like, the only thing is, again, the ball search count is kind of weird. They're only playing 2 Quick Ball and 2 Ultra Ball. And also they're playing 3 of the Coin Flip one. I don't know if the Coin Flip one is, like, good enough. Like, they kind of have to be, like, lucky with it. But I like the idea of the Gardenias plus the Pokestops to get the energy retrievals, to get energy into hand, to then Gardenia, and then set up in a single turn. I like that quite a bit. And I also like having Greninja, Mew, and Oranguru, because it gives you 3 different draw options for different situations. I definitely think there should be an Ordinary Rod in here at least, though, too. And since they're only playing 1 boss, I think they have to be playing a Giratina. Not a Giratina, a Garchomp. That's the Snipe one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. I think 12 is the right energy count for most of these decks, unless it's like the Arceus build. Palpad 3, 2, 2, 1. I don't even know if you need the Hisuian Heavy Ball. I feel like you should just be going heavier on the Quick Balls and Ultra Balls. I don't like these. And definitely an Air Balloon. So cut these for... These and this for 2 more Quick Balls and 2 more Ultra Balls. That's the way that I would go about it. Maybe... Like, I like the nets, but I don't know if you need 3. Maybe 2 in this list. I don't know. Like, there's still a lot that can be done about it. I think Regidrago has a lot of potential. Alright, back to the others. Then we have... Is this one the one that's below? I think so. No, this one's a different build. I haven't seen this one. This one is a 3/4 Regidrago line that is playing a Giratina, a Goodra, a Garchomp, and I can't tell what this one is. These are Duraludon. Okay, so there's 2 Duraludon in this list for whatever reason. Then there's 2 Dragonite and an Appleton. I think I would definitely cut one of the Dragonites and one of the Duraludons. They don't seem to be playing much else for an engine. It's basically just the Regis, and then they want to discard as many, like, dragons as possible. So I can get behind this. I can see why it's being played. Because it's meant to just sort of tank with Regidrago. Like, you sit here, you reduce by 80, you blow up whatever you need to. Seems like it's a little bit hard to set up the Gardenias. So I don't like the fact that they don't have something like a Mew or 2 in the list. I think they should be playing 2 Mew. I would definitely cut this and something else for a Mew. Or for 2 Mews. And then probably try and change up the count a little bit to fit in, like, 2 Air Balloons, maybe. The double Big Charm makes sense, though, since they're trying to play this more tanky. There's actually quite a few builds for this deck. This one here, probably my favorite. This one's one of Shintaro Ito's lists. This one's a 3/4 Regidrago line with a 1/1 Giratina line. I think I would cut the baby not the baby Giratina, the V Giratina for a Duraludon. I think that is, like, a necessary inclusion in this. Like, this and these 4 attackers seems perfect. And then for the rest of this, you can either choose to keep, like, the tank options, like Gardevoir and the Big Charm, or you can cut them for other things. I think you can cut the Psychic Energy for a 8th Grass Energy, which I think is better. Cut the Research for a 2nd Gardenia. You're already being able to draw into a lot of your stuff using the Pokestops. The Palpad can put back any supporters. The Lumineon can get the supporters. I really like keeping the Adventurer's Discovery, though, because it can grab you any of these pieces, and then you can just discard them. Like, I'm struggling to find what I would cut for other pieces. Like, you could swap these for Training Quartz if you want to go the Greninja build, but if it's just the Gardevoir build, I think the Pokestops are better. I also really like the Energy Search to be able to set these up as well. So if you want to keep it defensive, keep the Gardevoir. If you want to make it more offensive, cut the Gardevoir for Greninja, add this, change this to a Choice Band, or Choice Belt, not Choice Band, and then change this around for like two Training Court and then an Oranguru as well. But overall, I think this is probably my favorite build out of the ones that I've seen here. I'm for sure going to be trying this one out, at least. And that gets through all of the Regidrago ones that have been successful in Japan so far. I do have some of my own, like, spicy ideas for this list, including the trade Gardevoir engine, like a thin line of that I want to sort of test out. But there's another one that I think is very meta-dependent that I kind of want to save for my own use. So, hope y'all enjoyed going over these Japanese Regidrago lists, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun playing Regidrago.